Hello, everybody. This is Sharonda, and this is my YouTube channel, Spiritual Sense. In this YouTube channel, I go over things in regards to the paranormal, occult, supernatural. So I speak on things such as angels, demons, spirit guides, out-of-body experiences, near-death experiences. I also go over pagan belief systems in regards to Hinduism, Buddhism, Voodoo, and Hoodooism. I go over topics such as hauntings, curses, uh, to name a few. And I also incorporate a tarot card reading into this podcast as well. Now, before I proceed, I'd like to state that this podcast is for entertainment purposes. That means that I don't go super probing and private into anyone's personal affairs and presenting it on this webinar. Okay, so when you begin to get into spirit work or spirituality, I consider myself to be a spiritualist. Some things just so happen to happen. That means by way of serendipity or synchronicity, things will become in alignment. And it just so happened to happen. That means I don't put any personal input. Typically, in the reading. So if I'm guided to put out a certain message as such, it does not necessarily have to mean that it applies to you personally, is what I'm getting at. Meaning, like, these are my feelings, oftentimes. Okay. So I present the information as it presents to me. Now, I also like to state that this podcast or this webinar is optional. So if it just so happens you do not agree with the podcast or webinar, I do have, a total of 5 podcasts, to be honest with you. This being Spiritual Sense. I also have, if you go on Spreaker.com, I have Holistic Health. I have Health Matters, Ancient Ancestry. And then I have Talk Radio, which I will be forefronting, I think, later on today. Okay. So before I proceed, I would like to say, Father Supreme, being of all being, I don't know what this reading is on, but I do feel like it is a relevant reading. So give me infinite knowledge, wisdom, capability, and understanding as I do my reading. I would like to pay homage to my rishes. The rishes that I favor are Basset or Bashet, Yamaya, Shango, and Osiris. So you can call upon these Orishas in times of trouble, in times of need, to help with infinite knowledge, wisdom, capability, and understanding. Okay. So when I do my readings, out of 10 readings, I say 3 to 4 times I am spiritually led, meaning presences visit me, and I am able to tap into when something is applicable to what is going on with live living people. Many people are sensitive to those energies. Many people are sensitive to those individuals of the past, whether it be ancestors or friends or co-workers, whomever who has transitioned over to the other side, who may step in to assist you about this situation that is factual. That is factual. So right here, I'm actually putting on me some fiery wall oil that I got. And fiery wall oil is good for banishing curses such as evil eye, jealousy, envy, strife, any negative energy that may present or come against you. That's what it's good for. So there are oils and things that you can do to prevent that negative energy from infiltrating into your space and causing a ruckus or causing disillusion and confusion and chaos. Okay. So again, I am working with my new and let me put my earrings on since I'm getting all dolled up. I'm gonna go ahead and put my earrings on uh, because I do believe in astrology. I believe in numerology, and I do have some astrology cards which I got as well. I may be using those later on today, and so I'm not too. I do believe in astrology, but I'm not too well versed with astrology. I do believe that astrology and feng shui go hand in hand in terms of what direction your attention or your focus need to be towards. I do believe that. And I do believe that the cosmos can enlighten us on such things, whether it be favorably or unfavorably. Okay. So I am working with my cards here. I really like these cards. They are Angels and Ancestors Oracle cards by Kyle Gray. These are my new favorite cards. They have a combination of cultures within the cards. They're beautiful cards. They're very vibrant cards. It didn't cost a whole lot of money, baby. $12. Um, Very beautiful cards, and so I will be working with these for the next couple of weeks. Um, in addition to on Sundays, when I do my integrated tarot card reading, which is going to comprise of these cards and my other three main cards. Okay. So I don't know what this reading on, but I ask for infinite knowledge, wisdom, and capability as I do this reading. So I'm going to proceed to pull out the cards. But before I pull out my cards for those, and I repeat this in every webinar or podcast because this may be your only time watching me, or whatever the case may be. So that's why I have to constantly restate my pitch. But I favor the Celtic Cross. Celtic Cross is a 10-card spread which comprises of 6 cards and a cross, and then you have 4 additional cards. So card 1 is going to be on, say you're doing a reading on yourself or someone else, or it may be some knowledge or insight about a situation, or it could be on a situation, or it could just be, some clarity or more insight about the situation or person. Part 2 is going to be the obstacle. Like this is what is or preventing the hurdle, um, preventing what the blockage, what is blocking that particular situation. Card 3 is going to be what's above, like what are you trying to get at, or basically what's above the situation. Like it could very well be, a mother figure, or it could be a situation where you're praying for a sign, you're trying to get out of a situation, and it could be something in regards to like a mother-in-law or father-in-law or something of the sort, where you may have some issues in terms of love or marriage, and that could be card 1 in regards to your marriage or love life. And then the obstacle or barrier could be something superficial that they're feeling, such as weight, money, uh, you know, frivolous things, or it could be something deep rooted. And it could be someone that's above the situation in terms of like, it could be, financial problems that's weighing you down, or it could very well be, a meddling, nosy neighbor or mother-in-law or father-in-law. And it's the actual person that could be, perpetuating that. And then it could be the root of the issue. What is the reason? So it may indicate in cards 4 position the root or the reason. Well, it could be jealousy. It could be jealousy, or you know, something is going on with them or going on with you. Card 5 is going to be, card 6 rather is going to be what's occurring or what has happened. Card 5 is what has happened or is happening and what may need to change. Card 7 going to be the attitude. What is the overall attitude in regards to that situation? It could give you a little bit more clarity on the root of the issue relating back to the obstacle. Okay. Card 8 is what you was physically surrounded. Like this could be environmental wise, or what vibe you're getting, or emotions or feelings that you're taking on as you're doing your reading. Typically around this part of the reading, you may start to get, as myself, inclinations in your psyche. This is apart from my own thought process. And when you begin to get off into spirituality and spirit work, a lot of that is under a trance-like state. Like is information just is just coming in. It's you're just merely putting out a message, and you just have to get into it to understand what I'm speaking about. Okay. So 8 could be what's physically surrounded, what you sense, and card 9 could be hopes, fears, and dreams. And then you have card 10. This is the outcome. Like this is what sums it all together. This is kind of like giving a little bit more clarity. There may be times where you need a supporting deck to gain more insight about that reading. And this is how I do my reading. This is how and what works for me. Okay. So I'm going to proceed to pull out my cards. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So I have my cards pulled out here, and I'm going to place the rest of them off to the side. And like I said, this is maybe day 4 of me having these cards. And I really like these cards. They are my new favorite cards. Okay, so 10. We're going to proceed to just go ahead and turn the card. So typically I have them flat down, but I'm just going to proceed to turn the cards over now. Okay, so for card 1, I have the Eagle card. That's what I have for card 1. The Eagle card. Okay, so I had to take a quick break. Okay, so getting back to the beginning of the reading. So card 1, I have the Eagle card here. This is what we're doing the reading on. It says, Eagle, see from a higher perspective. Card 2, we have Mother Earth. This is the issue. The barrier or obstacle or hindrance. Feeling loved and comforted. Card 3. Peacekeeper, let go of the need to be right. This is what's above this situation. Card 4 is the root of the issue, or the reason. So I had Druid hold the space. Card 5, it says, Shaolin Master, be graceful in movement and action. Okay, card six, we have shaman, trust in her forces. So I feel as though this reading is in regards to someone who is experiencing fear right now. I honestly do. This is letting me know that this reader is applicable to someone who is feeling fear. Like I feel as though this reading is in regards to someone who is in a place or a space where there's a lot of fear, and I'm not talking about, because I know typically a lot of times when I do my readings, it's always in regards to being victimized, or in a career or a job situation. I actually believe that this reading is applicable to someone who may be located in a region that is not we're constantly adding new music to our artists favorable for them. That's what I'm getting at. Like the region or the location as to where you're located is not a good one. So I don't know if this reading is applicable to someone who's it's something in regards to nature. I don't know if you are, because not to be scrambling on, but oftentimes when I could be pulled and led to a particular thing, and when it manifests itself into my reading, then that's what I put out. Okay, so I don't know if you are around somewhere that has some pending danger or doom, but I feel as though this is what this reading is applicable to: someone that is close by an area. I don't know if it's some type of electromagnetic uh, field where you are close to something that's like some power, where it gives off power, or perhaps a chemical plant, something in regards to uh, your health. That's what I feel. Like somewhere where um, many people are trying to get away from, because they have been, uh, there has been some reports or some discovery that it is not healthy for people to live in that location, is what I feel. So perhaps you're by some type of nuclear plant, or some type of electro power, you know, waves or what have you, that can affect not only the mindset but the physical conditions of the people as well. So this is what I feel like this reading is applicable to. Um, I believe most people have been shut off from seeing that, but somehow you are capable and are able to see that as such. And I think you become very inquisitive, because you, like myself, you wondering, okay, is this is a ploy to get me out of my space to where I have to get out here and constantly hustle, hustle, hustle to make it. Because everywhere I go is something. So is this a ploy to run me away from these lands? Because when I go back and I begin to see and study, well, they put these same lands, they redevelop these lands and place the same things on these lands. Is what I'm getting at. So I feel as though this reading is applicable to an inquisitive person, someone who knew about lands and land surveying, and the reports in regards to what areas within a town or region or location was reported to have had certain catastrophes or mishaps. And so scratching my head, okay, so is this still occurring? or if this in fact a ploy to create division and divide, to get someone off their lands so development could come in. Is this simply a rumor or something that has been institutionally forefronted to move peoples away from a certain lands? So I can understand your feelings. Um, I believe that what you're picking up on is the feelings and um, the knowledge and empathetically as to what a lot of the natural or first people of the lands felt. These are the things that they felt. These are the things that they experienced. Okay, so oftentimes when you are sensitive to the past, or you're sensitive to those feelings and emotions, you could just be driving down the street and all of a sudden it's just like, oh my gosh. So trust me, I know. You know, many people may refer to that as being cuckoo crazy, but you have to understand God has already put in place as to what that is by way of the landmark. So, you know, many people who are able to think on such a higher scale, meaning to grasp it, not necessarily that they are better. No, but people who have been conditioned and groomed to know otherwise will know what that is. Okay. So card 7, we have card 7, sage. This is the attitude. Um, be devoted and committed. So um I do feel like these energies will make it apparent to you about a time and a place and a time and space. So, you know, things that you never really paid much, gave much thought to, never really been cared about will become apparent to you. Okay, now I see why this is this and that and that, and what feng shui and all of the astrology, and why this is over here versus that is over there, and everything coming into, you know, one um knowing is the way it is. Now I get why things are the way they are. Okay. Card 8. This is card 8. Card 8, as I mentioned, is what is physically surrounded, like what is surrounding the situation. And so I have the moon card. Take note of intuitive messages. I just mentioned this. You want to pay attention to what's surrounding and things, because God is going to enlighten you on certain things, is what he's going to do. He's going to make it apparent to you as to, is this a ploy to move me away from these lands, and so development and investors and all these different people could come in and get the land for, you know, less than marketable rates? Or is this actually a ploy for my concern and, you know, exposure or health hazard? Is that the case? What is it? Because everywhere you go, there will be something. There will be something. So what are you left to do? And so I think this is a test of your character. It's also a test of your intellect. That means to enlighten you on things that the average person really don't give a damn about, to be honest with you, but they just go along with whatever is told to them and don't think no differently. It's the point. Card 9. This is hopes, fears, and dreams card. This is what I have for hopes, fears, and dreams card. So for the hopes, fears, and dreams card, it says take care of your needs. Okay. So what does that mean? Well, summons God to assist you and take care of your needs, because no matter where you go, as I mentioned, there going to always be something. We're going to be exposed to. That's life. You know, it's going to always be something, give or take, such as that. But not only take care of yourself, but take note of these things. Take note of what is surrounding you. Be conscientious, not only on a smaller scale of things, but on a bigger scale as well, as to what is going on. And I'll give you an example as to what I'm talking about. So I want to say a week ago. Typically I have movie night for my children on Sundays, but this particular time, I think it was either a Friday or Saturday, last Friday or Saturday, not this past, but last. Well, today is Friday, so last Friday, and I didn't even mention what it was. Today is Friday, March the 25th. So I want to say it was either last Friday, sometime last week, and I put on a movie uh, for the kids, and we watched the movie. And as I'm watching the movie, I start getting into subliminal messages because that's how my mind works. It works in subliminal and symbols and messages and stuff like that. And I began to look up what the movie was based from, the original movie, as I was watching part two of the movie. And so I looked it up and I began to do some study on the Cabrini Green housing project that was in Chicago, Illinois, which was a development that became very dilapidated and decrepit. And over time, in doing my research, which I don't know, well, I was on a reputable website, which I feel it was a reputable website. The beginnings of when this development began, it first started off as some row houses, as they mentioned, and they put a certain ethnic group in this plot of land, and they began to notice certain behaviors that a lot of the people possessed and being in this piece of land. Then they began to put in another group and then another group. Well, to make a long story short, this particular group piece of land was next to, you know, some type of natural gas production or infrastructure or whatever. So anyway, long story short, they ended up putting these housing project development in there, and they noticed that a lot of these behaviors were being taking place as well, increasing crime and such. So I'm saying this to say, oftentimes you don't know what spirits are capable of doing, and many times you will be somebody's subject. Oftentimes you will be somebody's inquiry or curiosity, and these people profit off of the suffering, the lack thereof by massive numbers. Do you think that energy that has been perpetuated because of that happening, do you think that is good energy that going to be surrounding those development and that those lands, knowing that I was somebody's inquiry, a curiosity for a negative cause? Do you think that energy is going to be anything positive? I mean, if you could just sit and think about it, do you think those spirits that have transitioned over, that was in that time and space, do you think that's going to be of anything positive? I think to the contrary. And so this is why, I have the sage. And give me just a moment. Okay. So I do have the sage as the attitude, and we say sage, of course, you don't want to set fires in certain areas where there's natural production, but the whole concept of it all is there needs to be some clearing away. Something needs to be done with the air quality within that vicinity because it wasn't conducive for the people. And a lot of times that does have an effect on people's behavior and abnormal behavior. And a lot of times that's what the paranormal or the spiritual will let you know in regards to what manifests or takes place in this time and this space, meaning in the natural sense of the matter. So paranormal would tell on your world. So it's kind of like I mentioned, duality or parallel, like side by side, where one thing tells on the next. That's simply what that is. God has a way of enlightening us spiritually about what is manifesting in our time and space in this natural sense of the matter. And if you begin to pay attention, I was reaching you a long time ago, and you will begin to see that in the present, the past as well as the future sits right here in the present. And if you just sit and pay attention, you got some innovators, you got some people that are far advanced and beyond measure right here in the presence. You got some that are what? In the past, the beginnings, and right here in the present. And this is how God will enlighten you when something is imitation versus when something is of substance and what it is true and real. You will see it right here in the present. Now, I'm not trying to sit here and play on anyone's intellect, but if you sit back and pay attention, God is giving a message. Sometimes when you speak things out, those spirits will come against you. There is a freedom of speech clause within the Constitution. So you do have a right to vocalize your opinion as long as it's done with tact and within meaning. Some things you're not going to say that's, be disrespectful. I understand that and I can respect that. Okay. So we have the outcome to this reading. Well, it says, Shield Maiden, make plans and focus. So as they make plans, you need to focus. You need to focus. You need to be, you know, even though, and I hate to sound like I'm talking out both sides of my neck because a lot of times these cards are not going to fit exactly how I want them. But God is going to protect you. In other words, He's going to protect you and guide you in those times. He's going to protect you to where even though you are surrounded by that, if you are conscientious and aware of those things, he can have ways to help you distract those demonic spirits. Because that could very well be a ploy to run you away from your lands. However, if you do the things that I say, if you pay attention to the things that I tell you to pay attention to, you can revert those spirits away. Cancer, COPD, whatever different vice medically that come against you, that those demons or spirits will have to flee away. They will. Okay. So I feel like this reading was a relevant reading. I felt like someone needed to hear this reading. I feel like a lot of people needed to hear this reading. I have the ability to tap into many aspects of the matter in regards to infinite knowledge, wisdom, capability, and understanding. Um, God will enlighten you as such about certain things that most people haven't really gave much thought to, But that's life, There's a lot of things in life that I don't know that a lot of other people know. So I don't profess to know everything there is to know. But so I thank you for tuning in to this episode of Spiritual Sense. This was an enlightenment spiritual sense episode. So I felt the need to mention to whoever is out there. There is some oil. It's called Fiery Wall Oil. It has a different herbs in it with oil. You can possibly make this oil. If you look it up, you can possibly make it your own concoction, or you can actually, go out there and purchase it yourself. But this is going to protect you from any injury, harm, or danger. The weapon formed against you shall prosper. When you put these oils on, these oils has been made by people who are very highly intellectual. That means you're going to gain insight on things you never ever thought about. I kid you not. This is not mind over matter. I know this to be a fact. So it may not necessarily be that, oh my gosh, it's going to stop a bullet or keep you from falling down on the floor. And oftentimes it may, it may. But I'm saying in terms of like something that you are chronically dealing with. Like, it would give you inclinations about what I just mentioned. Oh my gosh, maybe the water is not so great to drink, and maybe I need to do this. Maybe I not need to do that, and as such. So it would give you a higher inclination about things that you know you would get the truth. Is what I'm getting at, and you will be enlightened about things that people are trying to cover up or don't want you to know, and things of the sort. You will be enlightened about that. That's what I'm getting at. Okay, so I thank you for tuning in to this episode of Spiritual Sense. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you're more than welcome to comment below. I'd like to also state that I do have the YouTube channel Spiritual Sense, which is specifically for my podcast as well as this web presentation. I also have the other YouTube channel, the Holistic Health Approach, which I have the other podcast, Ancient Ancestry, Holistic Health, Health Matters, and Talk Radio, which I'm going to think record on either today or sometime this weekend. Okay. So have a good and wonderful, safe weekend. Good day.